happening? What's happening? It's the curse.
It's
back.
difficult.
Yeah.
I hit play instead of record.
So Snow and Charming remember each other now. How is that going to change for the show?
Well, I think it changes it changes for every character in the show because magic. The curse has been lifted. Magic has come to Storybrooke. He remembers his old life, his old memories, his old emotions. He remembers who he is at the core, which I think has always been fighting to come out of David, and because of the curse, it was never possible. Charming will remember everything about David and remember everything that David went through and remember that David hurt the woman that he loved and that won't ever leave him. David is dead. Charming is back. And Regina has a lot to answer for.
How does he feel towards Emma now, knowing the truth about her?
Well, this is one thing that I'm really, really looking forward to and exploring in the whole of this next season is that family dynamic with his daughter. She's grown. He missed out on her entire childhood. He has a grandson. He's got that. He's never been a parent before. He never had that opportunity. So he's got that to deal with, and he's got Regina to deal with.
I had asked this prior, but if indeed with the coming of Captain Hook, there's a consortium of evil.
Yeah.
Would you be really excited to do sort of a massive fight scene in the middle of somewhere?
Of course. I would always be excited about a big fight scene. It's like a boy's dream, doing this job. I get to ride horses, I get to wield a sword, I get to slay dragons, so it's a boy's dream. So yeah, I would totally be up for that.
Are there any additional villains that you'd very much like to kind of face off against?
Yeah, all of them. All of them. Charming has a great moral compass and is all for the greater good of mankind and the everyman. So he's going to do. He would gladly face off against anyone because the thing. Charming may not have any magic, but he has honor and he has bravery and he has that. So he'll square off. He'll square off to anybody.
How much swordplay do you actually have to train for?
Well, I do it all. I do all my sword work in the show, which is something that I really love to do. And I trained early on as an actor, and that was certainly something that I trained in, and it kind of crosses over into the show. And we have a stunt coordinator that choreographs certain things. So if you're shooting a fight scene like that, you're going to rehearse on a TV show. You're going to rehearse for a day, and then you're shooting it the next day or the day after that for 3 hours or whatever. If you're on a movie set, you're probably going to rehearse for weeks and then shoot for weeks. But yeah, I love it.
Did you have favorite fairy tales when you were a little boy?
Well, the first one I remember is Pinocchio, and that was always kind of my favorite. And then I kind of slowly got into them as I got older. I was a huge fan of Winnie the Pooh and stuff like that. But I guess that's not really a fairy tale.
The books are the ones we lose.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think Pinocchio was a favorite of mine, and I think I came to them later on in life, like Snow White. I came to later on. I just saw it for the first time on the big screen. The TMC was doing this big classic movie festival in Hollywood, and I saw that for the first time. And I think they're wonderful stories to go back to.
In the first season, David kind of was very indecisive, and at times people watching the show would get a little irritated with David. But now that he remembers who is Charming, are some of those irritating characteristics of David going to kind of disappear, or do you think that they'll kind of still stick around and incorporate into Charming now in Storybrooke?
Well, I think David is, like I said, David is gone. David is gone now. Charming is back. Charming will never forget. David will always live in his heart, and he will know all those emotions that he went through as David and what he wasn't able to do as David because of the curse. He wasn't able to be honorable. He wasn't able to be truthful. He wasn't able to be forthright. He wasn't able to stand up for what he believes in and what he loved. And the consequences of that was that he hurt the woman that he loved. But that was the curse. The curse is broken. Charming is back.
Do you have anything from the first season that you think of as like a really great moment for your character? And is there anything coming up that you would really want to see happen with Charming?
In the first season, I mean, there's so many moments that I love that the boys wrote. I mean, I love when we first went in and we saw how Snow and Charming first met, how Charming got his name, how that love first kind of blossomed. I loved that setup and that foundation of that character. And, as far as season 2 goes, I just want, I'm looking forward to exploring that family dynamic between Emma and Henry and Snow. And also finding out more about Snow and Charming and their background and more about their relationship, at different points in time. Because, of course, we will always go back in flashbacks and see more about these characters' histories. So I'm looking forward to just delving in more and looking forward to Charming and Storybrooke and how that reacts. Because, like I said, Regina's got a lot to answer for, and Charming's angry.
Is Charming disappointed in David for anything that he had done?
Of course. He hurt the woman, as I said, he hurt the woman that he loved more than life. And of course he's disappointed, he's devastated because David's actions are not the actions of Charming. And that's one reason why he's so angry, because that's something Regina did to him and Regina did to them in their relationship. So there's some payback, I think, in store.
We saw that Geppetto lied about how, being able to put two people into the trunk to spirit them away to safety. Do you think that Charming will ever find this out? And perhaps his reaction to that?
It's possible. I can't tell you if that's going to happen. I think, our creators, Eddie and Adam, are geniuses, and they have taken the show in so many different directions, and anything's possible. Anything's possible.
Is David's ex still in the picture, or are they divorced? First of all, I'll be asking that.
Yes. Well, if you can remember in season 1, they kind of came to some kind of conclusion in the relationship and realized that, actually they weren't right for each other, and it wasn't right because they could never. She looks at a picture of David and Mary Margaret and says, I want him to look at me like that. And I think they just both realized that they weren't meant to be, and it wasn't right. And David, of course, was trying, there was Charming inside of David trying to come out, and he was trying to do the right thing. He was trying to be honorable to this woman that he was supposed to be married to and have all these memories about, which were fake and planted. So he was trying to do the same thing, but I think there's been a nice kind of conclusion to that.
So she's not going to be a factor.
Anything's possible.
Okay.
Anything's possible.
Thank you.
Thank you.